Good morning, Seattle. Welcome to Sitting Down with MJ. Here's your host, MJ Richardson.
Hi, I'm MJ. I'm the host of Sitting Down with MJ. We have a wonderful show for you tonight. We'll be discussing The Great Gatsby tonight, which has always been one of my personal favorites. For those of you who are not familiar with this book, it is the tragic tale of the fantastically rich Jay Gatsby and his pursuit of the American dream. Set in the Jazz Age, Jay Gatsby goes after the love of his life, Daisy, after returning from World War I. However, things take a dramatic turn when he discovers she is married to a man of higher class than he could hope to achieve. To help us out with the discussion, we have two of the foremost experts on The Great Gatsby. Chase Boyd, a professor of literary studies at Harvard University. In his free time, he enjoys studying literature from the early 1900s, but his favorite novel from that time is The Great Gatsby, of course. Our second guest is Riley Canterman, an English professor from the University of Alaska, where she leads many research projects and case studies on the literature of F. Scott Fitzgerald. Each expert will present an argument from The Great Gatsby, and they will each have a chance to argue and defend these arguments with their counterclaims and rebuttals. To start off this heated debate, we'll have Dr. Boyd present his argument first. Dr. Boyd, please share with the audience your argument from The Great Gatsby.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that throughout the book, there's an obvious double standard towards women coming from F. Scott Fitzgerald. He feels that women are immature and deceitful compared to men who are superior.
Do you have any evidence to support this claim?
Well, at one point, around the beginning of the book, Fitzgerald has Nick Carraway just come right out and say that you cannot blame a woman for being dishonest. And when he says this, he's making it sound like they can't help but lie, or be deceitful, or be immature because they're women and there's nothing they can do about it. It's a pretty blatant statement right there. Furthermore, at one of the parties at Gatsby's house, later on in the night, the women become hysterical when their husband's trying to get them to leave. They start crying and sobbing and being overly dramatic about the tiniest things. One woman even starts sobbing while she's singing a song, and he paints a picture of mascara running down her throat, or down her face, and catches in her throat just because she has to leave the party. And that's something a 5-year-old would do. And he's saying that all women are acting like that.
Well, of course they're going to seem immature. This is through the eyes of Nick Carraway, who is a Princeton graduate. So, of course, anyone is going to seem immature and unintelligent in the eyes of a Princeton graduate.
Well, they didn't just seem immature compared to Nick Carraway, they seemed immature compared to everyone. None of the men did anything to act immature, besides Tom, who was cheating on his wife. But it's a different story. Tom is evil. The women, however, acted like 5-year-olds. They acted like little children. They lied. Jordan Baker cheated in a golf game as a professional. And that's just something that you don't see today. And you didn't see in any of the men throughout the book. So it's pretty obvious that F. Scott Fitzgerald feels disdain for women, and he doesn't think they're like men. He doesn't think they're as good, or as intelligent, or as mature. Also, the main female character in the book, Daisy, was shown to be a beautiful yet fickle and definitely unintelligent woman. She was the most important female character in the book, one of the most important characters in the book overall, and she was described as ignorant, quick to make plans but not follow through with them, random, and her mind kept jumping from subject to subject. That's just, she was educated, but she wasn't intelligent.
But there are parts in the book where Myrtle shows that she is strong-willed, and she's determined to get after what she wants.
Alright, those are some very valid points, Dr. Scavo, but now it's time for us to hear from Riley.
You should have said the professor. Well, after reading and studying The Great Gatsby for many years at the University of Alaska, I've come to find that it's pretty apparent that Mr. Gatsby finds the wealthy class very immoral. This is because, first of all, when Daisy and Tom have a dinner party, Daisy proceeds to kiss Gatsby in front of Tom, and it's right in front of Tom. I mean, she's married to Tom. And she also goes to mouth to him that she loves him while she is a married woman. Second of all, when Gatsby and Daisy hit Myrtle, they just keep driving. How is that moral at all when you murder someone and you keep driving?
Well, I mean, I think we can assume Daisy must have been very frazzled after she was driving, or after she hit Myrtle. She didn't know what to do. She probably didn't know how bad it was. Maybe she didn't know that she had killed Myrtle. Just thought it was a small accident, and she was worried, and she just kept going because she didn't know what else to do. It was a split-second decision, and people do that all the time, not just rich people. The rich people may have many problems in their marriages. I mean, they certainly do, but at the end of the day, they still love each other. And Daisy and Tom get back together, and they're seen talking in the kitchen, and they've worked things out, and I think that they really love each other. They just have a few problems in their marriage, and it's not all rich people.
But their love is forced. If they get divorced, then they're frowned upon in society for the rest of their lives. I mean, the setting is in the early 1920s, so to get divorced in that time would be very frowned upon, and they would get loosely accepted into society. So their love is almost forced in this book. Okay. There's no way you can argue that the wealthy have morals. They constantly drink, and they're drunk all the time. There's no way you can argue that the wealthy have morals. They're lying and cheating. Jordan Baker takes the tee and moves the ball whenever she's golfing. That's clearly cheating. She also lies whenever she leaves the door or the windows open on her car, and she completely lies about it, and his car isn't even hers. That's just rude and immoral. Lastly, Tom Buchanan, one of the richest guys in the novel, he openly just hits Myrtle at a party. This is clearly immoral that a man would just openly hit a woman. A man with morals should never, ever have the right to do that.
Alright, thank you guys so much for informing our audience all about The Great Gatsby. Thank you, Dr. Chase, and thank you, Dr. Tangier.